So I'm here today to talk to you about food science here at Rutgers University in the School of Environmental and Biological Sciences. I'm the department chair here in the Department of Food Science, and I'm assisted by Dr. Chitra Ponasamy, who is our undergraduate program director, and she's also a professor in the department. So, what is food science? Well, food science uses scientific disciplines, scientific principles from many disciplines, disciplines of biology, chemistry, and engineering. And we do that to provide safe, nutritious, and good tasting food for everyone. I also want to call out, you'll see the logo in the upper right-hand side of my screen that says undergraduate program IFT approved. So we are approved by the Institute of Food Technologists, which is our scientific society. And the IFT assures that we are delivering a high quality food science education for all of the students in our program. So you might be asking yourself, what do food scientists do? And what do food technologists do? Well, basically, as I just said, we use the principles of chemistry, biology, and engineering to study food. We discover new food sources and ways to make food safer and healthier. We develop new and better ways of formulating, preserving, processing, packaging, and distributing foods. And then there's some of us that are involved in the regulatory world. And so those food scientists enforce government regulations, they inspect food processing facilities, and they ensure that they're sanitary and that they meet government standards. There are many possible career paths for a food scientist. Basically, according to the US Bureau of Labor and Standards, the overall employment of agricultural and food scientists is projected to grow by 9% over the 2020 to 2030 time period. There's about 4,400 openings for agricultural and food scientists each year on average over the decade. We've just come through a pandemic, and one of the things that we discovered during the pandemic is that people still had to eat. And so food scientists were hard at work every day, making sure that the right foods, safe, healthy, nutritious foods got to people so that we could all eat during the pandemic. So you'll see arrayed around the outside of my screen, many different areas of food science. Some people are food chemists. They study the chemistry of food. There's many of us that work in the areas of food safety and defense, keeping the food supply safe and protecting it from intentional adulteration. We work in food processing and packaging. Food science. There are food scientists like me that study food microbiology, microorganisms that spoil foods and cause foodborne disease. We have sensory scientists who study what makes foods taste good and what makes them look good and makes them smell good. Many of our graduates go on to work in product development, working for food companies to develop new flavors and new types of food that you'll see on your supermarket shelves. There are a number of us that are concerned with food health and nutrition, making sure that there's plenty of nutrients and good healthy ingredients in all of the foods that we use. Some of our graduates go on to work in the areas of food engineering, so studying processing and the engineering aspects of food. And then finally, again, a number of us are concerned with regulations and policy, and that's a career in food science as well. So some of our majors go on to medical school, to graduate school, to dental school, or business school. So you don't have to stop with an undergraduate degree in food science. If you go on and you earn a master's of business in science or an MBA, a master's of business administration degree, you might even be able to make more money in the food industry. Generally speaking, our undergraduate food science graduates go into high paying entry level positions with 1 year or less of experience. Many of our students are making over $60,000 a year to start. There has been a 20%, 28% increase in the median salary for bachelor's degree holders between 2019 and 2022. It's a generally overall a very high paying career. Median US salaries rose to $110,000 in this latest survey period. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, food science professionals report a high degree of job satisfaction. Food scientists, by and large, love what they do and they're happy to do it. And of course, part of being a food scientist is getting to enjoy all sorts of interesting and cool new foods. And we all appreciate food if we're in food science. Our undergraduate food science major requires 120 credits, as do many other undergraduate majors here at the School of Environmental and Biological Sciences. Students who major in food science take 10 credits of biology, 13 credits of chemistry, 11 credits of math and physics. Our undergraduates take classes in biochemistry as well. You can see there, 24 credits of core courses. There's 38 credits of food science courses that I'll talk about in just a minute. And then we also have our experience-based education courses where students work in the food industry or they work in a research lab and they learn about what that's like as a food scientist. And then we have many specialized tracks and electives as well that you can see on the slide. So a food science student at Rutgers, once they finish taking those basic core courses of science and chemistry and math, biology, chemistry, and math, they go on to take other courses as well. So for example, some of our introductory courses are the science of food and health. This is the first exposure many of our students have to what is food science. They go on to take principles of food science, both lecture and lab, where they begin to put together many of these concepts into actual experiments where they learn different aspects of food science. They take food microbiology, they take sensory evaluation, they study food science and food law in our current issues class. They study food analysis. In other words, how do you analyze food to determine what components are in that food? They take food physical systems to learn more about food chemistry. They take food processing technologies and food process engineering to learn about how foods are processed and the unit operations involved in those. They go on to take many electives. We have electives in food as medicine, foods from field to table, nutrigenomics, food safety, fads, facts, and politics. And then they also do experience-based education courses, research-based learning, intern-based learning, and other types of EBE courses. And then finally, they finish with our capstone courses in food chemistry and food product development, where they see how all of these pieces are put together to really make the science of food. We have scholarships available for freshman students because we are an IFT approved program. Students can get scholarships from the Institute of Food Technologists. This is the Feeding Tomorrow Freshman Scholarship Program. We also have a longstanding relationship with Goya Foods, and they give back to the community, and the Goya Gives program has supported initiatives that basically help strengthen the development and growth of youth in educational systems, and some of our students in our program get that support from Goya. We are not all about work and study here in food science. We have a very active food science club. I was just talking with some of our club members today about the fun things that they're up to this semester. This is a student-run organization with advice from advisors. They do field trips. They volunteer at a food pantry and collect donations for that food pantry. They go and they tour food processing plants, and they have a lot of fun. They make ice cream, which we sell every year at Rutgers Day. And so there's a lot of fun things that we get to do as being as food scientists with our food science club. So with that, I will conclude my remarks. You can see the link for our departmental website is there at the top. You can also take a picture of that scan code and get to the same place. My contact information is there on the left. Again, I'm Don Schaffner. I'm the chair of the department. I'm ably assisted by our undergraduate program director, Dr. Chitra Ponasamy, and you can see her contact details there as well. We also have two other programs. We have a graduate program for graduate students who are interested in food science. That's directed by Dr. Beverly Tepper. And then we also have our Masters of Business and Science program for students that are interested in a graduate degree with a more business as well as science focus. And that's directed by Dr. Paul Pakishtoff, who is the program director for that. So that is, in a nutshell, food science. we're happy to talk more with you to tell you about all the wonderful careers and what it's like to be a food science major here at Rutgers. I will add, just in conclusion, I started off my career majoring in food science because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and it turns out it's been a wonderful career for me. So I've spent my entire career working in the area of food science, and I just love it, and I can't say enough good things about food science. So anyway, it's been fun talking with all of you, and we look forward to seeing you on campus soon. Bye, everybody.